Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Scoops VFLW Game Changer Show. I'm your host, Scoops, the sole admin of Scoops, and what a round of VFLW footy it was. We had some comebacks, we had some shock losses, we had some smashings, absolute smashings. We had a side be almost goalless for an entire game. We had it all this round in round 12 of VFLW footy. We head into round 13 with 2 rounds to go in the home and away season. There's a week off next week, which I don't like. Then we'll have the last round, the home and away round 14 round. This week, going into this week, will be round 13. And there is 2 sides out of the 8, outside of the top 6, that are mathematically possible to make the top 6. And they include Essendon and Darebin. The sides below them have been well and truly out, pretty much effectively the moment the season started. I told you so about the Bulldogs that they wouldn't make the top 6. And while Scoops is right, yet again, you're welcome. Darebin's shock win over Williamstown has kept their finals hopes alive. A slim chance, but a chance nonetheless. And also, poor Melbourne getting slaughtered by North Melbourne keeps Essendon in it with their shock victory and convincing win over Box Hill. Now, I did attend the Box Hill Essendon game at Box Hill City Oval. So go and check out that matchday vlog if you haven't already. Here is a clip from that game where Stacia Stevenson from Box Hill almost pulled off a Mark of the Year contender. Just almost. Here it is.
Oh! Stevenson with the flyer. Almost got it.
That was a great attempt from Stacia Stevenson. Just so close to pulling that off. She's having a terrific season, is Stacia Stevenson. In the top 3 or 5 for the tackles on average per game for a mid-forward, and up there in the average disposals while playing that good percentage in the forward line in the early part of the season, and obviously playing midfield as well, but having the mixture of both, where some players at the top 5 of the average for disposals are basically pure mids, where Stacey is playing between mid-forward, so it's credit to her. But yeah, her side unfortunately didn't get the job done against Essendon, but that matchday vlog is a good one. Most of the goals from that game are in that vlog in full, so go and check it out. I would greatly appreciate it. Alrighty. I've obviously got my heavily debated team of the week. I'm going to review the rounds that's gone upcoming, go through some of the leaderboard. I'm going to make another pitch for names to be recruited heading into the AFLW season, which starts in August, which is next month. The Saints have a list spot still open as of this recording. I'm going to say it again until St Kilda or any other club start listening. And until every name I mention gets picked up, I'm going to keep on mentioning them until they get picked up. I'm just going to mention a few. Sophie Locke, right under St Kilda's nose, effectively, because Sophie's playing at Sandy, which is St Kilda's AFLW alignment side in the VFLW competition. Sophie kicked 3 again on the weekend, 15 disposals, had a great game against Bulldogs a few weeks ago, kicked 3 in round 1, or her first game of the season. Sophie should be on an AFLW list. She should never have been cut by Hawthorn. I could not believe Hawthorn did that at the time. But yeah, look, just they got to pick up Sophie Locke. They need a small forward, then Sophie's the one to get. If you want a midfielder, look no further than Tale Sanger and Amy Trinidad and Isla Baldwin. And then if you want versatility, you got a mid forward in Stacia Stevenson, who should have been drafted last year. If you want a ruck, look no further than Paige Price from Box Hill, having a terrific season in the ruck. Clearly the All-Australian ruck this year, had another good game on the weekend, like she has every other week. If you want a tall forward, look no further than Nike to Jock from the North Melbourne VFLW side. Should be on an AFLW list as well. She kicked 33 goals this year, won the Coleman, or equal first in the Coleman last year. 15 goals ahead of second place in the Coleman medal race this season should tell you that she should be on an AFLW list. And if you want to look at another tall forward who's had the experience at AFLW level in the past, and that's Millie Peck from Collingwood, a key forward who just loves kicking goals for fun, is a good strong mark and always makes a presence up known in the forward line. Even if she's not kicking goals, she knows how to impact a game. And they're just some names. There's plenty more. And I've mentioned some more in the past. Charlotte Brewer, Bella Clark, and some others in the past. Courtney Jones from Collingwood's VFLW side, who used to play at Richmond's AFLW side. There's plenty more names. There's a lot of talent in the VFLW competition, also in the WAFLW competition, and SANFLW competitions as well. All right, so we've got Team of the Week. I'm going to review the rounds that's gone on upcoming. And Scriptures Bang, of course, which is about to happen right now. So if you know any VFLW players and you would like to send them on the channel in a Goal King Challenge and or interview, or an AFLW player or other state league players, and you want to send them on this podcast even to be a co-host for one of these shows, or the AFLW show, or the men's show, the AFL Kick It to Scoops, or just be on the channel in general, or be a guest as an interview or a Goal King Challenge, or both, please do send me a message on Instagram, AFL Info Live. All right. It is now time for that world famous segment. Oh, it's world famous. It's Scoops. Goes bang. Well. What am I going to bang on about? Now, it's not officially revealed yet, which is why I'm going to bring it up in this segment. The finals fixture officially will be the weekend, I believe, off the top of my head, the weekend of August 30th and 31st. Now, that's round 2 or 3 of the AFLW season, which means the prelim is going to be affected with the AFLW season, and so is the semi-final rounds. Don't believe the first week of AFLW finals clashes with the AFLW season, so that week you can have some leniency there. But from the semi-finals week onwards, do not have any finals in the VFLW competition clash with any AFLW game that is in Victoria. Now, I'm granted there's obviously games for VFLW Friday night, most of Saturday, and parts of Sunday. So I get it's not always going to work from the time. But think wisely to the people running the fixture in the VFLW final series. Don't have, number one, don't have any of your own games, only your finals. Don't have any of your own finals clash with the other finals, for starters, right? Then also, don't clash any VFLW final, whatever, if it's the grand final, prelim, semi, qualifying, whatever, do not have it clashing with any AFLW Victorian game. So, for example, the week of the grand final, there is a Collingwood-Melbourne game on the Sunday at like 1:10 at Vic Park. That would mean that the VFLW grand final, with that being the only AFLW game in Melbourne that Sunday, which is grand final week, that game is at 1:10. Now, so that would finish at 3:10. Be smart. Play the game at like 4:30, 4 o'clock if you have to, at ETU Stadium, which is Port Melbourne's ground, or at Icon Park, or at Whitten Oval. If all venues are available, use one of those 3 grounds and play it at 4 o'clock, 4:30. So probably 4:30 be better, because you then give the chance to people that want to go from the AFLW game to that VFLW game, and there's no clash. People don't have to pick one or the other. They will physically be able to get to both without missing any, if not all, of the game. So be smart with your fixturing. Make sure it doesn't clash with any AFLW Victorian game, especially, and don't have any of the VFLW final series matches clashing with each other. That would be pretty bad to do so. So I plead with you, and I'm not the only one saying this, I speak for everyone here, do not have any VFLW finals matchups clash with each other or any other AFLW Victorian matches. Don't be silly, be smart, and don't clash the games with any other Victorian AFLW or VFLW match. Have them all their own time slot, showcases all on that individual game, and then people can also go to more than one game, and the crowds would be better. It's just common sense. Do not clash it. I plead with you to the competition at the VFLW. Do not clash any VFLW final series matchups with each other, and don't clash it with any other AFLW Victorian matches. I plead with you. Don't clash them at all. Thank you. Hope you guys and girls enjoy that edition of the world famous segment, Scoops Goes Bang. Alrighty. Now, this round for the VFLW Team of the Week was insanely hard, because we had 3 North Melbourne players alone have over 30 disposals: Eliza Jackson, Alana Barber, and Maddie DeCosmo. Then they're all midfielders. So it's like, does one have to go half forward just so you can fit other dominant midfielders on the weekend, and vice versa? Maybe you put the other players in the half forward line or on the bench. Well, let's see who's been robbed. Not robbed. No one's robbed, but who's been unlucky and who's deserved a spot. All right. So now it's time for my Scoops of VFLW Round 12 Team of the Week. From the back line, I hope I get this name right. From the pockets, Marley, Clubmans, Moller, and Meg Robinson. Full back, Madison Ford. Half back line, the flankers, Eloise Freeman and Lulu Field. Centre half back, Emily Prosser-Shaw. Wingers, Talia Sanger and Charlotte Brewer. Centre woman, Maddie DeCosmo. Half forward line, the flankers, Renee Tierney and Elizabeth Jackson. Centre half forward, Mary Robinson. Forward pockets, you guessed it, Sophie Locke and Courtney Jones. Full forward, Nike to Jock. Ruck, Bryn Harrington, formerly known as Bryn Moody, Carlton's AFLW ruck forward. Rovers, Alana Barber from North Melbourne and Abby McDonald from the Bombers. Interchange, Summer Hall, Meg McDonald, Amy Trinidad, Abby Vaffel and Alyssa Misford. Right, the emergencies, Al Chaston. Congratulations to Al Chaston on game 50 as well on the weekend in a victory, kicking the winning goal. Not the winning goal, but the last goal. The last play of the game as well. Taya Christensen, Yaz Dersma, Ava Campbell, first game of the year. Olivia Manfrey, Isabel Robson, and Abby Tregellis. Now, the reasons for these selections are as follows. Well, let me first of all put the graphic on the screen for you all to see so you can see it in full. So, I mean, this forward line was really hard to choose because I feel like, you know, players for me that I feel like dominated didn't have massive disposals. So they were very stiff, but there were so many insane midfielders that performed so well that I just had to squeeze one in the half forward line, which means a forward goes out. Because I really don't want to have a midfielder who had like 25 plus disposals and not make the team over for someone who may have kicked 2 and like 10 touches or something. So I've gone with the extra mids on the bench there, which they are in fact all midfielders. I still couldn't include Al Chaston, who had 28 disposals on the interchange. On the emergency list. And Abby Tregellis played a part as well. And Yaz Dersma playing wing half back, I thought played pretty well, getting 22 touches. But the back line, so Marley Clomens Moller had about 15 disposals. Every time the Hawks got inside 50, Marley was generally involved with Madison Ford, her teammate, which are both in the back line together. Madison Ford had about 15 disposals, and Marley had about 9 intercept possessions. There were 2 generals down in the back line, and the Hawks could not score. Meg Robinson was a really key part for the for the Carlton win over the Western Bulldogs. And Jesus, that was an absolute slaughterhouse performance from Carlton, albeit 12 AFLW plays v 0. Just a reminder, the Bulldogs are 0-5 against teams without any AFLW players, which probably shows you more about them and that changes need to be made. Meg was good with 15 disposals and about 6 1%ers. Eloise Freeman for Williamstown had around 11 intercept possessions, deserved a spot. Emily Prosser-Shaw had about 17 disposals and about 9 1%ers. Intercept possessions, so deserved a spot. Lulu Field, very similar numbers to Emily, around 16 disposals and 7 1%ers. 7 intercept possessions. I don't know why I keep saying 1%ers. On the wing, we had Talia Sanger, who had 24 disposals and about 4 clearances, but high efficiency, and was a key part why the the Pies slaughtered their opponent in, I've had a complete blank. Who did the Pies smash? Casey. Maddie DeCosmo, 1 goal, 37 disposals, like 12 clearances. That has got to be one of the best individual performances this year. Had to have 1 goal, 37 disposals, 12 clearances, and high efficiency around the 80 to 90% range. I mean, it's just a no-brainer. That is an absolute star performance from Maddie, and that's easily the best individual performance. Now, again, I say that a few weeks in a row now, it seems to get topped every week the more the weeks go on. So that's going to be a hard one to beat, at least for a midfielder anyway, with 1 goal, 37 disposals, 12 clearances, and efficiency around the late to early 90s, or late 80s to early 90s. It's just pretty damn impressive from Maddie. Charlotte Brewer, she had 24 disposals on the wing, and she's having a really good year and is in the conversation for the All-Australian team. When I do reveal that in 2 weeks' time, Charlotte's name may feature. If she's not in it, she's damn well close, and regardless, had a damn good season. Renee Tierney, she's having a great back half of the year, this captain of the Brews side. She's kicked 5 goals with 21 disposals. It's like, wow, that's just, again, another massive performance from Renee Tierney. She's had games where she's had 3 and 20 or goals like that. Just insane performance from their skipper, who was their new skipper this year, after she was at Essendon's AFLW list last year. and their recent captain, Jess Jones, retired. Elizabeth Jackson, a goal in 31. I mean, I just had to put her at the half-forward line, but she was phenomenal in the midfield for the Roos as well. Sophie Locke, 3 goals, 15 disposals, superstars. So Mary Robinson and the sealer at the end of the game, or the winning goal that got us in front after Geelong made a scary comeback for Sandy. Sandy made the comeback, and Soph's goal got them the win, essentially, because it got them in front. Then Ash Patton kicked a goal on the siren to seal it even more. Mary Robinson kicked 4 for Carlton, and she was very good up forward with 9 disposals as well. On top of that, Nike kicked 4 of her 9 disposals. She was very good as well. Courtney Jones kicked a goal in 17. She was really good for the Pies up forward. Having a pretty solid and consistent season is Courtney Jones. Bryn Harrington, Bryn Moody, used to be known as before she got married. So congratulations to Bryn for getting married. She had a great game, 3 goals, 19 disposals, like 24 hit-outs. She was really good in the ruck, which is probably showing that she'll be Carlton's AFLW ruck this year. Lana Barber had 31 disposals. She had about 12 tackles, so she was really good as well on return for concussion. Abby McDonald's been about at return for concussion. The Bombers have missed her in the 3 games she's missed. They've lost all 3 without her there. They have her back in the side, and they win and win well. Shows how important Abby McDonald is to the Essendon VFLW side. And now again, with Sandy to come, then the Bulldogs, their finals chances are well and truly back alive, especially if Port Melbourne are to slip up a game. And Williamstown have Collingwood and Box Hill in their last 2 games, so they may lose both. So Essendon will probably need to win both to be making it, with Williamstown or Port Melbourne losing both their games, which is a good chance as well, especially Williamstown. They're the ones to watch. Essendon in place of Williamstown, watch this space. Port Melbourne got 2 easy games with Casey and Bulldogs, so I think Port Melbourne is safe. It's Williamstown and Essendon are the 2, realistically, for me. Darabin have got Geelong in the last game, which they probably will win. But this week, they've got Carlton, which they probably could win as well. So, realistically, they're a good chance as well, now that you think about it. So, we'll watch your space with the ladder there. I think Essendon will take place at Williamstown just quietly, but we'll wait and see. So, going back to the team of the week, Summer Hall for Carlton, a young midfielder. She's played really well. She had about 24 disposals and had about 7 clearances, so did really well. Meg McDonald, she had 24 disposals for Casey, and did really well, about 7 clearances. Amy Trinidad had 20 disposals for Carlton. She did really well with 7 clearances. 9 clearances, so that's pretty impressive when the side had full of AFLW players in it. Abby Vaffel for Geelong, she had 28 disposals and a goal. I mean, it's obvious there. And Alyssa Misford for Darabin, she kicked 2 goals with her 20 disposals, and they had a come from behind win over Williamstown, and she had 12 clearances with that and like 8 tackles, so she was clearly getting picked as well. And the emergencies, well, like I said, Elle Chaston was the next midfielder to be chosen. Taya Christensen kicked 3, could argue was stiff. I feel like the other mids that had around 25, 30 touches had to be included as well, so she just missed out. Yes, Dersman had 22, was good for the Carlton. Ava Campbell, first game for the year from the Pies. Second year on the list there. Played only a handful of games last year, if not more than 2. And 1 this year. This was her first game. She had 7 intercept possessions of her 9 disposals down in the back line, Ava Campbell. So she should earn a spot next week as well. Olivia Manfrey. Now, she had 2 goals and 6 touches. I was at that game. And she had like 5 tackles as well. And every disposal she had, she either got the goal or was involving in a score or stopping Box Hill from going forwards. So she was very, very close to being named. I was that close. If it wasn't for the stacked midfield group, I feel like she probably was the one that was getting in next. So pretty unlucky. But she was damn well close, that's for sure. Was Olivia Manfrey. Isabel Robson for Port Melbourne. She hit 3 goals, 1. Port Melbourne scored 20. She scored 19 of their 20. So in other words, Isabel Robson scored 19 to Carlton, 90, whatever it was off the top of my head. And Abby Tregallis was one of Sandy's better players with 7 tackles and like 7 clearances as well for her 16 disposals. So that's my team of the week. Comment down below what you think. And yeah, love to hear what you think. And some other players that had good games. Right, so now let's go. So I've gone through my finals predictions, essentially. I think that Essendon will make it in place of Williamstown. Darabin have Carlton at home, then Geelong in Geelong. Essendon have Sandy at Windy Hill, and then got the Bulldogs at Windover Oval. Essendon will beat Bulldogs. They might beat Sandy as well. Darabin should beat Carlton if there's no AFLW players, and they should counter for Geelong in the last round. Williamstown have got Collingwood and Box Hill, so they're not winning either of them. If they can't beat Darabin, they're not going to beat the other 2 who are in the top 4. And Port Melbourne, well, they got the 2 easiest teams. They've got Casey and the Bulldogs, so they should be making finals. So to me, it's down to Williamstown and Essendon. Darebin will be a chance, but I feel like if Essendon win one, Darebin will have to gain a whole lot more percentage as well, and that's just not going to happen. So they would need Essendon to lose to Sandy and probably to the Bulldogs as well. So we'll have to wait and see. So I think it'll be Essendon in place of Williamstown come the end of the season. But if the top 6 remains how it is, I would have got my top 6 right. So got the ball knowledge, and I know exactly who was going to make finals all along. Williamstown just beat one of Collingwood and Hawthorn, that'd be great. Or if Sandy beat Essendon, then, well, my top 6 will remain. So we'll wait and see. So let's now review the round 12 games, shall we? So the first game, which was at Vic Park, it was Collingwood 8-9-57, slaughtered Casey 1-5-11. Not much to say, you know. Casey have the AFLW players, they do well. They don't do well. And Collingwood haven't had any AFLW players play all year. They've got ex-AFLW players like Lily Rose Williamson, Courtney Jones, Millie Peck, and more, Lauren Zaghetti, and top VFLW listed players like Tali Sanger, Charlotte Brewer, Dom Carbone, Bella Clark. So, they played really well. Talia Fellows as well as another former AFLW player from the Hawks. So they were really good from the start, dominated play early. This game was over at quarter time. It was like 4-1 or none. So it's all she wrote. The Pies march on to a top 4 berth and a chance to play finals, or not a chance to play finals. They will be playing finals. Mathematically, they could fall there, but they're not. They slaughtered Casey. Meg McDonald was their best player. Shalani Madgen played up forward, kicked 2 behinds this week after kicking 4 last week. They had about 10 disposals. I suppose she was pretty solid as well. Box Hill 33 to Essendon 55. Now, this was 22 points, but don't get it twisted. That's a WWE reference from Jacob Farr too. Box Hill were pretty bad. Essendon were on show from the start. Their coaching group would have been really happy with how they bounced back from that shock loss to Darebin. Abby McDonald is a key part to that side. Al Chasson in game 50 went on to Al. Had a good game. Abby McDonald was really good. Olivia Manfrey was really good. Madison Ford and Marley Clawman's Moller down in the back line were very, very good. As for Box Hill, their main players were pretty well held. The usual suspects for them, everyone can't be great every game. But the team as a whole, I don't think the team was that good at all. At all. I thought, the coaching group of Box Hill should not be happy with that performance. I'm sure they weren't. Essendon just put them to the cleaners from the start. There was a small chance at the start, Box Hill. But, disappointing for Box Hill. And Essendon were very, very good. But I'm sure those main players for Box Hill will be back good next week. 2 players that come to mind that were very, very good were Isla Baldwin and Emily Prosser-Shaw. Serena Gibbs played her first game for Box Hill, the former Freo AFLW player. So she was good. Kicking a goal early, got that on film. That's in my match. They've like every goal from Box Hill and the majority of the Essendon ones. Box Hill weren't good at home. Essendon were very good away from home. Speaking of good at home, well, they were not good at home, Box Hill, but Carlton were. I'm going to say this. Carlton AFLW 15-6-96 smashed Western Bulldogs VFLW 139. That last goal came from Imogen Milford in the last 10 minutes of the game. So very late in the piece. They were terrible. Again, most of the Bulldogs players should be really disappointed with their performance. Albeit, though, Carlton had 12 AFLW players. But now you know how it feels, Western Bulldogs, when you want to do that and how you beat sides like that. Well, you didn't even beat every team you played with AFLW players, by the way. But when you did, you know how it felt where it was a tainted victory. Now Carlton's done that. So Carlton should be bragging. They've won games. They only just beat Collingwood with 0 AFLW players and they had 12. They only beat them by 3 or 4 points. So, sure, if you want tainted victory, sure. So you've won 4 games for the year, and I believe 3 of them with AFLW players in it. So they don't count, considering your opposition had none. So, And Bulldogs aren't good at the moment anyway, so that just makes it even worse. So, though individually, the players, Meg Robinson, Yaz Dersma, Amy Trinidad, Summer Hall, Grace Matza, and the ruck was really good with Bryn Harrington. They had a really good group of performers as well. Lila Keck played a part as well. Darcy Vesio as well. It was a great win for Carlton in terms of the actual result. The Bulldogs just showing why the decline was always coming from late last year. I noticed it, and it happened. Speaking of a pathetic performance, not Williamstown, well, that was pathetic as well, but North Melbourne, 16-6-102, slaughtering Port Melbourne, 3-2-20. The Roos, Nike to Jock with 4, Renee Tierney with 5, Isabel Robson for Port Melbourne kicked 19. So, sorry, let me repeat this. North Melbourne, 16-6-102, defeated Isabel Robson, 3-1-19. Port Melbourne, 0-1-1. Because that's what the score was. Unbelievable. Port Melbourne are a really good side. I know Tommy would be really disappointed with how they performed, and I know Brett will be really happy with how the Roos went. I think it's a one-off for the Port Melbourne side. But this probably does show how strong North Melbourne have and always will be in this competition at this stage in their careers. In this stage of the competition. Just so well drilled. Brett's a terrific coach. They won the premiership last year. They're on their way to making another grand final this year, you would think. They're just so damn good. It's more so who they're going to have first. I feel like it could be Box Hill or Collingwood. I don't see Sandy getting there unless they can pick their act up and beat sides higher than them on the ladder, which I haven't really been able to do this year so far. And then everyone else would be just making up numbers, I feel like. Port Melbourne, they had to go well against North now to be given a real chance, but they just got beaten badly by North, so I don't see them making it. And Williamstown probably won't make the top 6. So, and if Essendon get in, they're just making up numbers. So, most likely. So, yeah, I think it's down to North, Box Hill, and Collingwood. I thought that for a while, to be honest. And if I had to pick now, providing the matchups they don't face each other in the prelim, I think it'd be North Melbourne and Box Hill, where North Melbourne beat Box Hill by 5 goals at Arden Street about a month or two ago. So Hawthorn want to fix that up when they face them again, potentially in the final series at some point, if not in the grand final. But for the Roos, Barber, Jackson, 31 disposals. Maddie DeCosmo, a goal and 37 disposals with 12 clearances. She was fantastic. I said how well drilled the Roos are. Stella Reid didn't have to do much in the back line, like the whole back line, because the ball was hardly down there. Credit to the Roos midfield and forwards for keeping it in there, and the rucks as well. Zara Flanagan. Kate Reynolds did not play. So Zara Flanagan. Zara Flanagan. I don't know. Sorry, Zara. I don't know how I butchered that. But yeah, she had a great game in the ruck. She had really decent numbers, over 20 hit-outs. I think around 12 disposals, make it a goal or two as well. So Zara Flanagan was really good for the Roos in the ruck. The Sandy Giant Escape. Sandy 6-3-39. Defeating Geelong 5-2-32. Well, Geelong got a lead of like 15, 18 points around half-time. And I said to a mate of mine, I'm like, wow, we're going to lose this. And I really hope we don't, because all we need to do is win, and we're playing finals. So, I'm thinking, don't lose this. You can't be losing this season on the line in terms of like securing the final spot. And they got the win, and it's thanks to one name in particular, Sophie Locke. Oh, how lucky Sandy are right now to have Sophie Locke. 3 goals, 15 disposals, the match winner, the sealer, not the sealer, but the match winner. Ash Patton got the sealer. Soph had another terrific game. Sophie Locke has to be on an AFLW list. Again, now. Not in a month, now. The season starts in a month, so it's got to be before round 1. So the next 3 weeks, it's got to happen. So St Kilda, you got a list spot open. Playing at Sandy, which is St Kilda's AFLW alignment side. Give her a call. Get her at the club. Be a great acquisition for the Saints, and show Hawthorn what they missed out on. Sophie's fantastic. Abby Tregellis was really good in the midfield. Sandy, to their defence, have also been hampered by a lot of injuries or players get picked up by AFLW clubs. Like Erica Fowler, who was playing ruck forward, she got picked up by Geelong. Lauren Brazzali was their captain pre-season. She got picked up by Richmond early in the piece after like round 1 or 2. So, they lost 2 players there. Unfortunately, the fears have been confirmed that, unfortunately, Imogen Evans has suffered an ACL injury. We wish Imogen Evans all the best. She's a ripper person, a great player. Sucks to find that out during the week that she had done an ACL. She was a key part for Sandy. And, when they do now make finals, it would be off the back of people like Imogen Evans, who had a terrific season. So her season is just as important as most of the others because she's a key part why they're in this position to make finals. Obviously, there's others. Abby Tregellis has been good. Sophie Locke. Other players throughout the team. Chloe Sultry's been good. Stacey Livingston's been a great acquisition. Alison Downey coming to the side on the weekend. She played well in the ruck. She did a nice goal in the last quarter as well, which got that goal before Soph's last goal. Sophie kicked 3. Downey got the goal before Soph, and then Ash Patton got the sealer. They've been hampered by injuries a lot. They've had unavailability with some players. With the ruck merry-go-round, it's been Fowler. It's been Yasmin, who's playing in the Allies State Championships on that under 18s. So it's been Annis Everett as well. So it's been all over the place with who's been in the ruck. So they haven't really had continuity with the same team. So I suppose they could play a part sometimes. Stacey Livingston came into the side. She's fitted in seamlessly. She's been one of the best players the first 2 weeks. A bit quieter on the weekend, but the 3 weeks prior had been pretty good, in particular the first 2 games against the Bulldogs. And there was a game at Sandy as well. I think it might have been, I don't know, but it was a close game in that one, and she was a key part there. So, great to get the win. Geelong were pretty impressive. Abby Vaffel, Hayley Peck, Kiara Woods up forward, kicked a nice goal. A nice one-hander from Kiara Woods in the last quarter. Unfortunately, didn't get the goal from that, but it was 40 minutes down the boundary. She got the distance pretty well to Kiara Woods. Good player she is, because we've had 2 goal kicking challenges and we won all, I'm pretty sure, off the top of my head. So good players, Kiara Woods. But Geelong choked a 3-goal lead. So they'd be very disappointed down at Geelong. And it was nothing to do with free kicks. The last game to go through is the upset of the round and choking a 3-goal lead. Another team that choked a 3-goal lead is Darebin. Not Darebin. They won. Williamstown choked a 3-goal lead. Liam Kavanagh will not be happy, the coach of the Williamstown side. Now their finals spot is in jeopardy, and I don't think they make it now. This was the easy game of the last 3, and they lost it. Darebin 6-2-38 to Williamstown 5-4-34. Wow. Grace Hodder was also very good. The skipper of Sandy as well, must I add, in the midfield, like 10 tackles as well. Grace Hodder, about 17 disposals as well. Darebin, Ange Gokus had a solid game, but it was Alyssa Misford's game to have the spotlight on. She was really good. 2 goals, 20 disposals, 12 tackles, 12 clearances. She was fantastic. For Williamstown, again, they've always got even contributors, but I thought Eloise Freeman, who was in my team of the week, down in the back line, was their best player. Now let's wrap this show up this evening with previewing the round 13 game, shall we? So, where are we? Right. So Saturday, there's 4 games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday. They never learn with clashing games. They never learn. A little bit better this week, but still not good enough with the fixturing time slots and that. People want to go to games. How can they do it if they're all on at the same time effectively, or too far away to get to the next game and be there when the game's over? Saturday at Jenna Steele Oval at 10:35 Victorian time. It's Darebin hosting Carlton. I'll be tipping Darebin in this one by 5 points. If Carlton have AFLW players, Carlton win by 60 points. Saturday, 11:05 at Windy Hill. It's Essendon hosting Sandy. I'll be tipping Essendon in this one by 5 points. I hope Sandy do get the win, though. Deakin University, 1:05 p.m. Geelong and Collingwood. I'll be tipping Collingwood in this one by 70 points. Saturday at ETU Stadium, we've got we've got Port Melbourne hosting the Bulldogs. Port Melbourne will come back with fire and will burn with their performance, and they'll have a good victory. I don't know what the hell that even means, but they'll be light and fire at ETU Stadium in terms of on the scoreboard, as they will be having a big win here, I would think. I'm going to go Port Melbourne by 30 points over the Bulldogs. 2 Sunday games. Sunday, 10:05 a.m. at Casey Fields. Casey and North. North will win by 65 points. The last round at DSV Stadium, which is in Williamstown. It's Williamstown hosting Box Hill. That's 11:05 a.m. on Sunday. I'll be tipping Box Hill to win this one by 15 points. When it's a low-scoring game, Williamstown are a shot. But when it's a shootout, they don't win. So Box Hill for me by 15 points. Now I'm going to wrap up this show this evening with some news I just want to bring up. So the Scoops VFLW medal, the All-Australian, my Rising Star, my MVP, etc., all those awards, most of them will be on the Scoops VFLW medal show, which they'll be mainly centered towards the Scoops medal winner, of course, the inaugural Scoops VFLW medal winner. The All-Australian will be done on this podcast, on this episode in that week. The All-Australian and maybe the other awards, I'm figuring that out. But yeah, so the award show will be in 2 weeks' time after round 14. So we'll wait and look forward to that. I know it's going to be a very, very good one. I can guarantee you that. Now, leading the goal kicking with 2 rounds to go is Nike to Jock on 33 goals, just having a terrific season. Caitlin O'Keefe second on 18, Monique Di Matteo 17, Jess Madden 16, Renee Tierney 14, Amelia Peck and Sophie Locke both on 13. So, yeah, they're the goal kickers. Disposals, Ange Gokas, it says 305, averaging 25.4. Maddie DeCosmo, 277. Abby Vaffel in third place, equal third, might I add, with Amy Trinidad, both at 252. And Tale Sanger not far behind on 241 disposals. And Dom Carbone, their skipper at the Pies, 230. So, yeah, that's that. And hitouts, Paige Price with 390, averaging 32.5 a game. Didn't play much ruck in the first game, might I add. And Grace Matza, 358 hitouts and an average of 29.8. And Kate Reynolds and Hayley Peck are next on the list. Shannon Egan and the Prince of the Hill, Layla Prince, with 250 hitouts and an average of 20.8. Right, my final thoughts are simply this. If you know any VFLW players, AFLW players, or any other state league players, and would like to see them on the channel in a Golden Challenge and or interview, please do send me a message and we'll try and get something sorted on Instagram, AFL Info Live. Thank you all for watching this week's episode of the Scoops VFLW Game Changer Show. I look forward to next week's episode and to all the VFLW games this weekend. Thank you, and go